My name is Wiebe, and I am a Canadian Olympian in the sport of freestyle wrestling. And I grew up in Ottawa, Ontario, but I currently live and train in Calgary, Alberta. I actually did this kind of exercise a couple days ago where I just kind of looked at my career and kind of like the major events over like the last decade of wrestling on the Canadian national wrestling team. And I remember being at the London 2012 Olympic Games as a training partner and, watching Tanya and Carol win Olympic medals for Canada. And that really cemented like, one, maybe I could do this too. And two, like, I'm going to do everything in my power to be there in 4 years in Rio. And so in the next year, I made the Canadian senior team for the first time. And I remember at one of the final events of the season, I was wrestling that London 2012 Olympic champion for the first time. And, she was a really technical, really strong athlete from Russia. And I just remember being like, all right, like just wrestle the way that you want to wrestle, make this the toughest wrestling match she's ever had, and just go after it for the full 6 minutes, regardless of the outcome. And I beat her. And it was like the first time that I really, really kind of felt and acknowledged that like maybe I could really be something in this sport. And so I guess that was kind of the turning point in my career when, I finally went all in and kind of quieted the whispers of doubt and fear and just went into every match confident that I could wrestle the way that I wanted to wrestle, and that's all that mattered. Yeah, it's a great question because honestly, like when I started wrestling, women's wrestling was not even an Olympic sport. And so, talk about how far we've come in such a short period of time. And then obviously I just had this instant passion for the sport. And, I decided to move across the country to go to university and pursue wrestling. And I remember thinking like, I just want to take this as far as I can. This kind of like crazy, surreal dream of being an Olympian kind of was at the like back of my mind. And the Canadian women's wrestling team is incredibly strong and has a strong legacy. And I was just like, never imagined I could be in that echelon. And I even remember thinking like, maybe I could like wrestle for another country or do something like to make this Olympic dream happen. Because I honestly didn't believe I could do it. And, but, obviously I would never, ever do anything other than for Canada. And I just, just put my head down just every single day, just worked harder and kind of set these small goals, like make the junior national team, make the senior national team, win this tournament, win that tournament, like step and step and step. And, I think that Olympic goal was always kind of on the horizon, but it was never super clear to me, maybe until my first Olympic trials in 2012. So that kind of was like, this is real, this is tangible, and, I can do this. This is real, this is tangible, and, I can do this. Yeah, so strange right now. I mean, everybody wrestles like their parents and their brothers and their siblings and their friends. My older sister was in rhythmic gymnastics, so we were not really a rough and tumble family. I did a lot of soccer, did every sport, but then in high school, they posted a sign for the co-ed high school wrestling team. And there's no tryouts because in wrestling, there's no cuts. If you can survive, you can make the team. The more bodies, the better. And, I convinced my best friend to do high school wrestling with me because it was something we never thought about. We'd never imagined. We thought it would be really fun, a cool opportunity to wear spandex and wrestle with boys. And we just, went to that first practice. And like instantly I fell in love with the sport. I love the technical, tactical aspects of it. I love the physicality of it. It was like unlike anything I'd ever done, and I was hooked. And also I had really amazing friends, like me and my best friend, we wrestled in high school together. And that first year, after that first year, she was like, I'm done. I'm done being your punching bag, Erica. or your wrestling dummy. And then I, started wrestling at a club, and instantly I had this like amazing collective of people that were positive and uplifting and supportive and having fun. And, I made my first national team when I was 16, and with two of my best friends that we made our first Olympic team together in 2016. And so without those relationships, without those friendships, like I would not be still doing this today. Yeah, I mean, to wear the maple leaf on your chest, to me, it just symbolizes everything about the best parts of Canada and the best parts of, what it is to be human. I think that, Team Canada represents integrity, it represents passion, it represents equality and opportunity. And, I love like the mantra on all the Canadian Olympic Committee stuff is, whoever you are, whatever you do, whoever you love, however you look, like you are here and you are welcome. And, that's what it means when I go overseas and I represent Canada. It's this symbol of strength and opportunity and integrity. And, I think that obviously over the last couple of weeks, it's been really tough with a lot of the things that have been happening regarding the residential schools. And, my heart goes out to that. And I think, we can still do better. And I think that we have the power to do that. We have the resources and we have the will. And, in wrestling, I always say, like, take a step into the unknown with the certainty of power within. And I think that, we can move forward and be better on personal level in whatever we pursue, but also on a collective level as a nation. And that's what I think Canada has represented. We do speak truth to power. We do stand in our truth. And I think that, we are leaders on the world stage in so many things. And so I'm so proud to represent Team Canada. It has been incredibly difficult. I mean, early on in the pandemic, we had, these, physical distance, social distance, and obviously wrestling is like the antithesis of physical distancing. So it was really challenging to find a way to train, to make it safe, to ensure that we had, the best protocols in place. We didn't have a facility for a large part of 2020. And so we were wrestling on a grass field for the whole summer. It was tough. And, to stay mentally focused and mentally strong, I really, engaged in a lot of the things that I engaged with as an athlete to pursue excellence. And that's, positive self-talk, journaling, using the resources around me, speaking to my sports psych regularly, engaging in mindfulness practices, and also, staying active. I'm a huge proponent of, active recovery. And for me, that means in Calgary, I'm able to go out to the mountains, go out in fresh air. I think that even the act of like looking off into the distance at, at a mountain, at the landscape, there's so much research about like the neurological benefit of stimulating your mind. And, one of the things I did is just what can I control and what can I do? And so I actually got a road bike and I started road cycling. It was like a new challenge, a new skill, something that, to ease my mind off that. And I really just tried to set goals, daily, weekly, and long-term. And at times it was really tough because we didn't know the ultimate goal was competing in Tokyo. And there was a large part of the last 18 months where it wasn't clear if that was going to happen. It wasn't clear if that's what the world needed. But I can attest that over the last couple of weeks, and especially the last couple of days, we were coming out of this. We've done an amazing job as a nation, I think, around the world. And I think the world needs sport now more than ever. And so I'm refreshed, I am ready. And, mentally, it's just, I've always thought, what can I do? What can I control? What are the actions I can take? And those regular check-ins on how am I feeling? What do I need? Are really go a long way towards addressing, what you need on an individual basis, on a daily basis to be your best. And sometimes that's rest. Sometimes that's, a social event. Sometimes that's, getting out of your comfort zone. And it's just really important to check in with yourself and check in with others. I was really fortunate when I started wrestling that I never once questioned my place on the wrestling mats, on the field of play. I had really great teammates. I had really great coaches, and so I had a great environment that I could thrive in. And so for me, for the next generation, for how I live my life, it's continuing those signals of inclusion, of acceptance, and ensuring that nobody, no matter what they look like, who they are, what they do, that they don't feel like they have a place in sport. And I think for young women, I think it is incredibly difficult. And our bodies are changing, our bodies are constantly being looked at and judged. And what wrestling has done is given me the confidence to say, screw you. Like, I have ownership over my body. I'm strong, I'm powerful. My body is a weapon. No, I'm just kidding. But, my body I have this power and this control in it. And that's what gives me confidence to, be unapologetic in who I am, how I show up, and what I look like. And I recognize I come from a place of amazing privilege in who I am. But, if I can just do small actions every single day to ensure that, we have a place in sport and a place in our everyday environments for everyone, I think that goes a really long way to, creating a strong community and a strong nation moving forward. My favorite song is this kind of unknown, underrated Sean Paul song called Hold On. And it actually came to be in the Usain Bolt documentary, I believe. And so the song is, it's pretty short, but it's extremely catchy. And if anyone has ever listened to the lyrics, it's all about, doing what you believe, having confidence, and holding on to your dream, even when you feel like it's impossible. And so literally every single lyric of the song is inspiring and uplifting. And my best friend and my Olympic teammate introduced me to it many, many years ago. And it's one of those go-tos that I always go back to when I need that extra push. This year in Tokyo, we might not see our friends and family and fans in the stands, but we will feel your energy and love from all the way back home in Canada. And it truly takes a village to raise an Olympian. And so I just want to say to everybody that's been involved in my journey, thank you so much. And I'm so proud to go out there and make Canada proud.